Rascalette wrote in and said, is it difficult to write songs about such intimate and emotional feelings now that there are millions of fans listening to your music?
I have used this analogy quite a bit, so I'll use it again. It's the equivalent of walking into church naked. I think just this idea that what I'm feeling is being put on public display it's pretty heady, but I think in order for somebody like me to make it, I think you almost have to be that level of honest with your fans, and so. And I think just as importantly, I love the idea of putting what I'm feeling on paper and having somebody pull their own meaning from it, because then it makes me feel like, A, I'm not crazy for feeling the way I feel, and B, that what I'm feeling is universal, and I think everybody can gravitate towards what I'm feeling. So it almost gives my emotions some validity.
Cool. DC Lover for Life.
Another nice name.
Said, you and Kimberly Caldwell make a very cute couple. I'm very happy for you both.
Mm-hmm.
And then has needs some advice from you.
Okay.
I'm 18 years old. I've never been on a date yet. Do you have any advice that can help me find a guy that is sweet, kind, and caring as you? I doubt there is a guy as amazing as you, but still.
Well, first off, thank you. Don't search for it. I think... when the right guy comes along, he'll be smart enough to figure it out.
We like that answer.
Yeah.
On a similar note, someone named Anne wants to know, what do you think is the most romantic song ever written?
That's tough. There's a lot of good songs that are romantic. I can tell you the first song that made me cry over a girl was I Believe by Blessed Union of Souls. I was in 6th grade, and this girl in 7th grade liked me, and we went out for a week. And by went out, we didn't, because I couldn't drive.
You went in?
But we were steady for a week, and then she broke up with me while I was on a family vacation. And I heard that song on the radio and cried. So that was kind of emo, wasn't it?
Somebody named Jay Padfoot said, David, you said your first instrument ever was a violin that you learned to impress a girl, no less.
Yeah.
Do you still play violin?
I didn't play for a long time, and then I was working on a record before Idol that since has not seen the light of day, obviously, and I tried to play, and it didn't go very well. So you can definitely fall out of practice with a violin, and no, I cannot currently still play, but I would like to.
Speaking of Idol, a quick Idol question. Amanda Loves DCOH says, if you could sum up your whole Idol experience in 3 words, what would you say?
Exhausting, absurd, and amazing. It's 3.
Cool. Well, I know you just had a photo shoot here at MTV.
Yeah.
Cydia wants to know, what are you thinking when you're being photographed? You always have a very seductive stare. So she said, so spill, what are you thinking about?
I think of 2 things. First off, I try to think I don't want to give too much of myself away, so that's why I make a lot of funny faces, because I think it's a defense mechanism. And by telling you that, I can't do that anymore, so great, thank you. Also, I remember, I always think about this very important lesson I got from Deborah Bird, one of the vocal coaches at Idol. The first 2 weeks, there was something missing, not so much in the live aspect of what I was doing on stage, but in how it came across to TV. And Bird, we were going into the week where I sang Hello, and Bird made this comment, like, instead of looking at the camera, you should look through it. And it's something that I never really thought about. So as opposed to looking at a camera, I try to look through the lens. And I think that's when things started to take off and people started to kind of embrace what I was doing on the show. So I attribute that as a big help, I think, in probably some substantive sense. It's something you would never really think about.
Speaking of fans, Word Nerd for Life says, what's the strangest gift you've ever received from a fan? I'm sure there are a lot of them.
There's 2. One, I get the premise behind it, and it's a very sweet gesture. I was given an oar when I was a paddling oar when I was in Minnesota for the AAI tour, and it was obviously land of 10,000 lakes. There's a reason, but I didn't expect to get an oar. And Michael Johns got one too, and we actually used it on stage that night, but then had to keep it on the bus for the rest of the tour. So it was weird dodging these paddle oars every city. But the other one was a pair of pink women's underwear that was anchored down by a bottle of massage oil. What was weird about it is I spent the entire summer on a bus with 4 other guys. And for some reason, some fan thought that I could use this stuff, which I can't, and I didn't, so thanks.
Regift it.
Regift it, yeah. Merry Christmas, Mom. Probably not.
So one last question, and it's from Nina's Feet. And her question, well, she said, my personal heaven would be an eternal David Cook concert. You might get a little tired.
Right.
What would your personal heaven be?
Wow. The next concert, I think. I think what really made me want to do this was 2 things. One, I love the creative process of being in a studio and building a song from scratch and finding out things about a song that you didn't know when you wrote it. But I think almost more so, whether it's 50 people or 50,000 people, nothing beats kind of the energy and the nervousness and the excitement and the anxiety of performing in front of people. So I'm definitely glad it found me.
Anything else you want to tell your MTV Buzzworthy blog fans about your new album?
I have a new record, self-titled, and it is out now. And I'm very, very proud of it, and I hope you guys are too. So, but even if you aren't, you should go buy it anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.